Hey everybody, I'm so happy that you guys decided to show up again this evening for me. It seems like you do love me. I'm bugging you guys almost every single day now, and you keep coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to yet another Sharpe Way Show. I didn't do the cool intro this time, I know, and I usually do. Kind of wanted to get right to it because I have an amazing guest, a woman that I love and respect dearly. She is a comedian, a New York City native, just like myself. She is smart and savvy and knows how to get stuff done. Her name is the amazing Chrissie Mayr. How are you?
Larry, this is great. Thank you so much for having me. You know, you really have given me a reason to shower and put makeup on today.
See that? I am a caring nurturer, and that's what I do for people. I give them reasons to shower. The funny thing is, I don't have to shower because you actually can't smell me now. So it's okay.
Right. It's not called the shower way. It's called the Sharpe way.
It's called the Sharpe way. Exactly. Right. Exactly. If it's called the shower way, I'd have to shower every single time I did a show. That's a problem. So anyway, so yes, we're here. And most people don't know, but I actually met you, Sirius XM, John's show. Is that right?
Yes. John Fugelsang, who loved and adored by many and is known for, I think during the 90s, he was on, God, was he on America's Funniest Home Videos, I think?
I don't know. All those guys are like to me. I don't know.
Yeah, he was. And now he just, now he has a show on Sirius XM called Tell Me Everything. And I think just a few months ago, it was moved to like the Progress channel. Like when I met you on there, it was, he would tape at like 1 p.m. or something, or 12 to 3 or something like that. Or 12 to 2, and now he records like basically from like 10:30 through midnight. He's got like a later spot, but it's played, you know, like the next day.
But isn't live the new thing? I mean, this is right. This is the point, right? Isn't live a big deal now? I feel like the idea of recording is nice and people like it, right? It's more like a podcast. But when you do it live, don't you actually have a whole lot more people who are kind of following behind you? I mean, isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, I would say that the benefits to being live far outweigh not being live. Like, however much editing you think you would do, or maybe throwing in a few graphics, sure. Like, I think the positives of that do not outweigh the spontaneity and the exchange and the interaction that you can get from being live. And it's like everyone benefits more. Like, if you're the person broadcasting, like, you can see real questions coming in real time and it allows for spontaneity. And also, like, let's say it's someone like you who's running for a public office, it tests your ability to think on your feet.
Absolutely.
And answer questions. Like, we get to see, like, do you really know your shit, or are you always reading off of notes?
Yes, absolutely. And I read off notes all the time. I'm kidding. So no, I do that all the time, which is why I like you, by the way. People don't know. I asked you to MC some of my things because I know you're very good off the cuff. It's a skill set that I think not many people have, but we've got to get better at it. How are you handling? I mean, I guess a couple things I want to bring up here. The first one is, now that we have the virus, right, COVID-19, comedians are going to struggle in, I think, 2 ways, right? Way number one, this is fodder for comedians, right? You always want to joke about the tragedy, right? You're going to joke about this and probably Tiger King, right? Those are the 2 things you're going to be joking about all day long. And both, in a way, are tragedy. One obviously much more devastating than the other, but I don't know which one is. Anyway, they're both a tragedy.
It's a fashion tragedy for sure. First and foremost, Tiger King is a fashion tragedy.
Absolutely. So how do you handle when someone says, comedian, you can't laugh about this, right? You can't joke about this. What's wrong with you?
This is such a loaded thing to unpack, because it's like comedians, you know, everyone thinks like, oh, like comedians, like, it's so tricky. There's so many sides to this argument, because like, if you're the regular person, right? You're not an entertainer. And let's say you're somebody who is super sensitive and likes to feel like you're better than other people and is constantly pointing out, how other people are wrong.
You are self-righteous.
Yeah, if you're self-righteous, if you're always looking for opportunities to virtue signal, if you're always looking for ways to like get up on your high horse and put others down and, oh, you spelled that wrong, or like, oh, that's actually wrong, and actually here are these facts. Well, guess what? Like, that person is not going to have the best sense of humor. So you mix those kind of people, like with now comedians are putting out even more content. The two are meeting, and it's like, yeah, the people that are going to shit on your jokes are not the people that were going to come to your shows anyway. Right. They're not fans of yours. They're not people who would have sought you out. But it's just now that like I'm in everybody's pocket, and if I put a video out there that's got like 100,000 views, like people that wouldn't ordinarily seek me out are now seeing me, and now you've got this uptight person with
and they're only seeing that one thing, and now they're judging you not based upon your work, but they're judging you based upon this thing bothered me, therefore she's evil, right? This one thing bothered me, therefore I have to jump on board, and I have to show how righteous I am, and I have to just jump all over her. Isn't that one of the reasons why we have places like Compound Media to create kind of like a paywall to keep those guys out?
Yeah, it was initially called the Free Speech Network, but now it's called Compound Media. And just to catch up your viewers who don't know exactly what I'm talking about maybe a week or two ago, I put out a video called Kung Flu Fighting, and it was a compilation video that was kind of a response to Gal Gadot's celebrity video of everybody singing Imagine. Did you see that video?
I didn't. Now I have to watch it now.
Oh my God, Larry. So this was, at least 2 weeks ago, Gal Gadot, who's Wonder Woman. She played Wonder Woman.
Yes, Wonder Woman.
And she, I assume, just like texted a bunch of her celebrity buddies and said, hey, let's each sing a line of Imagine. And then she put it together.
I remember that.
Yep. And I think her intent was to just show like the common folk and the peasants, like, hey, here's all of your favorite celebrities here to cheer you up. Like, we're all singing this super serious song. Like I think she was trying to be like, I'm one of you guys, but it just did the opposite.
She's one of us.
Everybody watching it was like, no, you're singing this from your like mansion. And some of these people, Larry, were submitting their lines like from vacation. Like they were in tropical locations with palm trees behind them. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can curse, but
It's the internet. Do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the video, in fact, highlighted how, in fact, these celebrities are not just like us. And
how out of touch they actually are, right?
They're so out of touch, and they're doing so well, they don't even remember what it's like to not do well. So the purpose of my video.
Oh, hold on. Say it again. They're doing so well. Say that again, please.
I don't remember what I said. I said they're doing so
well. Oh, that was so savvy. Look how smart you are. You're so good you didn't even know.
They're doing so well that they don't remember what it's like to not do well.
Yes.
They just are unable. They're just tax bracketed out of understanding, and which is fine.
Bracketed out. You are rocking it tonight.
Which is fine. And I'm not saying people that are successful can't be successful and make money, but don't like put something out there that you think is going to unite and make people happy when in fact people are like, hey, there's 6 hot tubs in the background there. What's going on? So the purpose of my video, I got a bunch of my comedian friends to each sing a line of Kung Fu Fighting, and like a common kind of joke that was going around like 2 weeks and even months ago, a lot of people in the news were calling the coronavirus the Kung Flu. And that was a very common trending hashtag on Twitter was Kung Flu Fighting. And I was like, all right, well, let's do Kung Flu Fighting, whatever. It's a little like corny, but like I told my comedian friends, I'm like, you can either say Kung Fu or Kung Flu, like whatever.
Sure.
And so we did it, and it was kind of exciting because I was like, when things happen, comedians, I feel like a lot of us get the idea to do the same kind of thing at the same time, and then it becomes like a race against time. You know what I mean? Like we are all kind of thinking of the same jokes.
Sure.
And,
sure.
And then it becomes just being the first person to get like a sketch or a parody or something out there. So I was definitely feeling that pressure. And
but now when that hits, you've got to have people who immediately think you're insensitive, you're racist, you're bad, right? That has to happen.
Oh My God, Larry. Yeah, I released this video more than a week ago, and just today, I am still getting people. I'm still getting angry messages.
Where did you release it, by the way?
Everywhere. I put it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
Got it.
TikTok.
And what's the name of it?
It's called I think what I actually titled it on YouTube was "Comedians React to Gal Gadot Celebrity or Imagine Video" or something like that.
I'll see if I can find it.
And then maybe in other places it might be called Kung Flu Fighting. And so now, you know, a week or two has gone by, and I've just the amount of backlash from people, like, in my comments, you know, on my posts, private messaging me, not like death threats, but like pretty close, like, oh, karma's a bitch, you're gonna get what you deserve. And it's like, sometimes I will engage with these people because I would be like, wait a minute, if you can explain to me how a comedy video is going to inspire somebody to be violent towards Asians, right? Which is that's their whole argument, right?
Sure.
That my video being out in the world inspires the only super unstable people to go ahead and like commit like vicious, acts of violence towards people. And I was like, if you can prove that to me, I'll take it down. I'll apologize. And they're like, oh, well, you don't understand. I was like, well, what's your right? I was like, plenty of people have found this video hilarious. Like, yeah, it's a little corny. It's not the most original thing I've ever thought of. It's not my best work, but it's out there. It's like one of hundreds of videos But
there's a bigger issue here in my eyes, right? And that is, and this is, I think, a greater pain. It's obviously a pain for you, but there's a greater pain. This comes from the idea of zero tolerance.
Yeah.
Right? We will have zero tolerance. I have decided, because I'm the super cool person, that I've decided that this is off limits. Therefore, no one can say anything about it. Zero tolerance. So Chrissie Mayr, with her doing a song, there is no difference at all because she's crossed that line of zero tolerance than her personally murdering Asian people.
Right.
They're exactly the same.
I condone it. That I am like...
No, that means you did. It's the same as you doing it. Because once you've crossed that line, well, then you might as well be the one pulling the trigger and shooting people. There's no difference.
Right. And so you're blaming me and the video for these horrible acts, like, which is crazy to me because the people that are committing these acts of violence, like, they're not like smart people who are like up looking at comedy videos.
They're not watching you.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not watching you. No, they're not going, I wonder what, I'm thinking about killing people, but what would Chrissie do? I don't think they're doing that. I would agree with you. The problem comes again. The idea of zero tolerance means you're not actually trying to solve a problem. Right. What you're trying to do is feel good about the situation.
Right.
Right?
And
that's the issue.
These people, like, I was engaging with a lot of them, and maybe I shouldn't have. Like, my boyfriend was like, don't respond, don't engage, don't feed the trolls. But, like, I was like, I wanted to talk to some of these people, these angry people, and I'd be like, if you can prove why this is so bad to me, well, it's not about always being funny. It's about being socially aware. I was like, okay, well, it's not my job to show everyone how socially aware I am. Like, of course I know that there's racism out there, sure. But my job is not to be preachy in that way. My job is to make people laugh. And that's what I want to do with my social media platform.
But regardless of what your job is, regardless, when you were an accountant, right? If you were a truck driver, right? If you were a school teacher, whatever your job is, why is it your other job to be socially aware? That isn't your job. It's your job to not hurt people, to not take their things and to not hurt them, right? Not to fraud them, not to lie to them. That's your job. That's everybody's job, right? Everybody's job is don't hurt people, don't steal stuff, don't lie, don't commit fraud. That's everybody's job, no matter what you're doing. Besides that, my issue is why is it that person, whoever that person is, their job to decide who is righteous and who isn't?
Yeah, what makes them so fucking important that they're some 25-year-old chick from New Jersey who works at a bank? Who made her in charge of what's funny, what's not, what's appropriate, what's not? Like, and it's like, it's the most self-centered thing you can do because, like, tons of people found this funny. So you're saying that these people who laughed at it are wrong, or that they're racist, or that they don't have the right to laugh at what they laugh at. And it's the most hypocritical shit ever, because you know that 25-year-old Asian girl has laughed at a slew of whatever it is, like anti-white skits or
of course she
whatever.
has. Whatever.
Asians are among the most racist people. The more and more I hear, like, among one another, like Koreans hate Chinese and Chinese hate Japanese. It's like, this has been comedy for decades and decades. All we do is make fun of other groups of people, and everyone's fair game, and it doesn't have to mean anything more than just like a laugh and you go on with your day.
So I have a specific question for you. Daniel Donnelly is asking if you would consider coming to Dutchess County.
Yeah, I have no beef with Dutchess County. That's Poughkeepsie, right?
I love it. There we go. Yes, it is. Perfect. There we go. See, Daniel, she said yes. I love it. Awesome. So I guess the other piece I'm concerned about is if we begin to fall back behind the paywalls, does that make things better or worse, or does it matter?
It's really tricky because it's like there's pluses and negatives. What's good about compound media being behind a paywall, it's like people kind of know what they're signing up for, just like, and there's also value to it, right? Like if Netflix were free, people probably wouldn't value it as much.
Well, for a lot of people, it is kind of free, as they have their friends' number. They have their friends' code.
We're all sharing the same 10 passwords.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. It's really tricky because, like, a lot of people say, compound media is like right leaning, or they're conservative, because we have like a few former Fox personalities on there.
Right.
And it's like, honestly, if anything, like, I'm more libertarian. Like, I'm still a registered Democrat, but
that was the right answer, by the way.
I've been too lazy to change it, and I will, Larry. And I'll cite you as a reason in the comments section.
Yes, absolutely.
There is one.
I love it.
But so then you look at like, like NBC or CNN News. Well, like, okay, they're sort of a little bit more like left leaning, and that's free, right? You can just turn that on. And I guess the benefit to compound media is like, okay, you know that some of the shows on there, like In Hot Water, like as you know,
I've been on.
Show, yeah, like we curse, we're a little filthy. We're like, we joke, we make sex jokes. It's like, okay, you have to pay a little bit each month for this because you're not going to show this to like your kid.
Right. But there is something else though here, which I think is a good and also a bad thing. You have people like Dave Chappelle, people like what's that Bill Burr, people like that, right? Who can kind of do whatever they want because they're rich and powerful now. Yeah. So it's good that someone can, but it's sad that they have to get to a point where they go, I don't care what you think, right? You're actually making a point of trying to make people aware. And when you do that, you actually get people to go, I don't give a shit what you're thinking at all now anymore. You've done the exact reverse. You've made people like, Bill Burr, and who I adore, they're great, Dave Chappelle, brilliant, right? Yeah. Just say, I don't care what you think, man. So now I don't care if I'm aware or not. In fact, now you double down, right? Because the bad part about the person who's self-righteous is apologizing is actually the worst thing you could possibly do. Yeah. Because once you apologize, they take that as, aha, I got you. And then the attack is even harder. But when you have someone like Donald Trump, a similar issue, never apologizes, doubles down, right? Or the opposite, the Hillary Clinton, who just would deny everything, right? Deny everything or double down. And that becomes the norm, even in our leadership. And it becomes the norm now. You find it happening now throughout everything we do, even in business. The first thing we do is point the finger. You look now and this is a little bit off topic, but still on, the COVID crisis now. Trump is blaming states. States are blaming Trump.
Yeah.
No one's saying they did it.
Yeah. And you have all these reporters, including like non-reporters, like you have TV personalities like Whoopi Goldberg. I just saw she was on The View, and like they're all looking for these like gotcha moments to like, call out, whether it's Trump or Bernie Sanders or like, Whoopi was like really like like nailing it into him, like, why are you still in the race? Why haven't you dropped out? And it's like, I don't know that's like that take is the most important or the thing that your viewers really want to see
Right.
the most of. Just like these reporters that are like, oh, Trump, like, what's wrong with you? You're just trying to get him to admit that he sucks, which is never going to happen.
Right. Exactly.
You know, he has to maintain like a strong post. And it's like, what I find like with comedy is like, that doesn't seem to really happen in the same way with other art forms. Like if somebody was to paint like a nude painting, and then some people are like, oh, I don't like that. So then you throw black paint on it and now it's ruined. It's like, well, what about all the people? You know, that's not happening in art. That's not happening in music. There's not the immediate like deletion. People get so fired up about deleting and canceling comics for some reason.
Cancel culture.
Like, face is like, oh, we see your face. We don't agree with you. It's so easy to sit behind your phone and just be like, fuck you, you're wrong. It's like if people could do their cancel culture the old school way, like if you had to write letters, if you had to like, far fewer people would be trying to cancel anybody because it just takes way too much work.
Yeah, I agree. I have another question for you. Does the short bagel guy still harass you?
Oh God, no. I mean, I do still have his cell phone number in my phone. You know,
because you miss him.
In case I have a bagel emergency. No, I mean, I think he had a stroke a few months ago. I don't know if it was real or not, but yeah, no, like we broke up. No, we're like not friends anymore. We don't really chat. I mean, I hope he's okay. I wish him the best, but like, yeah, we're definitely not friends anymore.
So let me move over to the compound media part. Your show, The Wet Spots. I don't know if it still is. Used to be Mondays at 8, correct?
Yes.
Is it what's happening with it now?
Now we are doing this new thing, and this past Monday was like the first episode of it, and it went pretty well. So I think we're going to do it for this next Monday too.
There we go.
What we normally do is a panel where we answer sex, dating, relationship questions, and the panel will consist of comedians, like, you know, adult film stars, wacky TV personalities, occasional libertarian candidates, you know, rarely.
Every once in a while want to show up.
If there's one that really stands out, yeah. Oh, I was gonna have what's his face on
Adam, what's his face? That guy.
I should know because Hope. He's running for president. He's a libertarian. Adam Hokish.
Adam Kokesh. Yes, Adam Kokesh.
He was supposed to do it the other week, but obviously, you know, Corona.
Yeah, so. I was gonna have it on my show at the same time. I was bringing them on too. You were bringing them on, so was I. We're gonna bring them on. So I did it virtual instead. I did a virtual one with him instead. Absolutely. So this is a good point, right? So you've shifted into a world where you deal with a lot of people in the adult industry, sex worker industry, a lot of those industries, and those tend to be industries that libertarians tend to be open to. Fine, whatever, do what you got to do, even though they're libertarians.
Everybody loves strippers.
And even if you don't, if you're libertarian, you just go, whatevs, go strip, do your thing.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose, or did that you fall into that? How did you get connected with the sex worker industry and the adult industry?
I think it was through when I was in the process of pitching my show last spring. Like I was watching a lot of old Howard Stern episodes with my boyfriend and just kind of realizing like, wow, before Howard Stern became super famous, there was such a great element to his show, which was like in the, his kind of like, not remote segments, but like the in studio sort of like fun, interactive portions that he would do. I was like, there's something really cool about that I want to bring into my show. So it's not just always like talking heads. Like, even though I have, you know, the people talking are interesting, like comedians, they're funny, but there would be how great would there to be like, you know, like a truth or dare element or like a taste test. And we've been doing a lot of that. Like I had a dominatrix come in with her, like one of her slaves, and we like wrapped him in saran wrap, and like everybody had a great time and it was fun. But it was also like, how often is the average person like going to get to see that? You know, we're not trying to like do anything crazy. Like nobody's like crapping in anybody's mouth or anything like that. But like,
not yet.
We're like pushing the boundaries a little bit. And yeah, like the other day
so I'm clear. This was kind of purposeful for you. Like you said, this is going to be something exciting and interesting. Yes. Let me get involved here.
I also realized, like, yeah, there's a lot of similarities between the adult, like, film star industry and comedians. Like, we have strong, like, entrepreneurial ties, you know, or both sort of, a lot of people see comedians and adult film stars as sort of like degenerates and outcasts and, you know, I don't know, the people rejected from regular society, or like, oh, our dads don't love us, you know,
Yes.
like all those, which like may or may not be true, but I think like a lot of people sort of like view us kind of like in the untouchable cast, I guess.
It's
Yeah,
why
so
so many of you were so shocked when I would go on your show as a relatively mainstream politician. I would actually show up on your shows. Yes.
Yeah, everyone would be like, does Larry know what's happening? Is Larry
Yes.
aware that we're going to, you know, someone might ask him to take his dick out jokingly? Yep. Is Larry, you know?
Yes. It literally is. Larry's going to get flashed. Yep, that's going to happen. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Larry's.
Yes, it's going to get flashed.
Like, they might, yeah, like for a joke, show some porn just out of nowhere on the screen.
Yeah, happened more than once to me. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very jarring. Like the first couple of times I went on In Hot Water, they would just show porn out of nowhere. And you're like, oh God, it's like, you know, it's 9 a.m. You're not ready for that.
Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. So, but Daniel wants to ask, where do you find those people? Like, is there a network of people that, you know you now? Have you become someone where they go to you now or no?
Yeah, it's becoming more and more that way, which is really exciting. There are a couple of like adult film star publicists that I work with. So there's like a few different camps. There's like Star Factory PR. There's BSG, which is I met those folks. I met all these people when I went to AVN in January because I wanted to be like kind of like the Joan Rivers of AVNs, which are like the Adult Film Star Awards, kind of like. So then there's like, I don't know, maybe four different like publicists that I'll deal with, and then they rep maybe like 10 or so clients. So it's through a combination of like reaching out to them or reaching out to the girls directly if I have a relationship with them, which now I do. I'm friends with a lot of them. I have a lot of their cell phone numbers. I'll be like, hey, I'm doing a remote segment for Wet Spot. Can you send in a video answering these 6 questions? And that's what I did for this past Monday's show, and what I'll do for this upcoming Monday's show. People will send me, you know, I'm trying to do like an all porn star episode of Wet Spot for this coming Monday. So they'll send me the answers to their questions, just like regular stuff, like who's your favorite up and coming porn star? What's your favorite part on your body? Like regular, you know, questions like that. And I'll edit them together, and so their answers will be pre-recorded, but like me and my sidekick will be Skyped in, so we'll be live and commenting on their answers.
Well, I have another question for you. They spelled your name wrong, but they want to know if you think that a future is going to be like the old movie Demolition Man, where we have a lot of virtual sex. That's going to become the norm, right? I'm sure you've seen that.
Demolition Man, so maybe that's what I'm gonna have to do tonight.
It's an old Schwarzenegger movie from like I think the late 90s. I'm not sure. Schwarzenegger's in it, and so is Wesley Snipes. Back before he went to jail. So they were both in it. And in the movie, it's supposed to be about like 40 years ahead. So it's like 2030 or something like that. And virtual sex becomes a norm because actually touching people, you can get diseases.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think like the human desire to like stop touching people.
Oh, hold on, I made a mistake. It wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was Sylvester Stallone. Thank you. It was not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sylvester Stallone. I apologize. Yes, absolutely. So please go ahead. Do you think that we're going to move towards? I mean, in a way, we are kind of right with people doing the cams and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of going there. Do you think that's the future?
I think no. I think especially humans, like, come on, like men, right? Like, we're never just going to be like, oh, like even the most germophobic person, I don't think that human beings are going to move away from wanting like that physical content. What I think it does do is it kind of like lifts the shades on, I think it allows for like less judgment. Like you have all these cam girls, right, that are doing, you can watch some girl or guy do anything. So it's like, it helps you to explore like what your hidden kinks are, you know, like what you find you're searching is the stuff you're into. And since it's all out there, you just, I guess I'm finding myself, you know, for some reason, I'm really into watching like girl on girl or two guys or whatever. You're just like, and it's all out there. So I think it helps people find, like, scratch that itch and like, oh, find their very specific thing that they're into. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know that I was into like some chick wearing a mascot costume. And here I'm spent all night watching these videos, you know? But on the flip side, like, if that is something that, if you keep those likes of what, like, if you keep that separate from, say, like your intimate partners or your wife or your husband or your spouse or whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, then that's where I think things can take a downturn, because if you're keeping like your kinks and the things that you want separate from your like day in, day out relationship or boyfriend, girlfriend, then it's like you're separating like your sexual desires from your real life. And you shouldn't feel like you have to hide that.
Well, that's a thing I think we find that's the argument against porn, right? It's the argument against porn is how it destroys marriages, destroys relationships. That's the argument, right? Now some guy or some gal, right? You find out that you like your guy dressing up as a mascot or whatever, right? That's your thing now. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And so now you've got a kink. You got to go someplace else to satisfy, to, as you said, scratch that itch. And then you're now sharing your intimacy with someone else and not your partner. That's the argument. Do you think there's something valid to that?
Yeah. Everything is a compromise, right? Like, let's say, Larry, you and I are a couple, right? And you're really into mascot, like me dressing up in a full mascot. Like, well, what if that creeps me out? But
That'd
we're
be
married
amazing.
and we have 2 kids. I'm not gonna sever this relationship over that. So maybe I'll just do a head, you know, or maybe I'll just do like kitten mittens. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go. You can still be like, all right, she's trying. Just like
she put the kitten mittens on. I'm good. Is that how that works?
Mittens on, you know. Like, it always helps. I think that's how people become closer, is like, well, just share as much as you can. Keep your communication open, right? It's like easier said than done, right? Like,
yeah,
I
even
still have trouble with it. So it's like you have to keep, like,
but I think you brought up a very valid point. And this is something that I think works with all relationships, whether that's a romantic one, a professional one, anything. The idea that someone is trying does matter. It's an emotional piece, right? Relationships are emotional. So yeah, I want you to dress up in the full whatever cat outfit, whatever, and you throw the paws on, and I go, you know what? She cares. She cares. Yeah. All right, we'll move towards that. But I tell you something else. I remember, and I've done this more than once when I'm dealing with employees. It's going to sound totally weird, but with employees, when I'm dealing with employees who want a lot, I actually will stand there and I will try to give them a little bit something. Tell them I respect them. Here's what I can give you. And you'd be surprised how many employees like the fact that I tried to give them something and will actually stay, or at least stay longer. I think you do find that in every relationship, to include a romantic one on top of it. So you're telling me that if someone's got a kink, you kind of got to bend a little bit.
Yeah, I think, and then, because if you hide that from your partner, then it becomes like this big secret, wrong, dirty thing. And then like it builds up in your head, like, oh, like you judge it yourself for being into something. And then it gets bigger and bigger. And then be like, oh, I can't share that with my wife of 10, 20 years because she'll think I'm a pervert. And it's like, no, guess what? Because your wife probably has some perverted shit that she's into that she doesn't feel comfortable sharing right now. She's probably like, oh, I can't, thank God you said something because I have these handcuffs and I've been, you know.
So wait a minute. Now I'm in handcuffs. I'm not sure I'm okay with that. You can put on the fuzzy stuff all you want, but handcuffs, I'm kidding. It's whatever. It's fine. I guess I'm getting handcuffed now. There we go. That's how it works.
Like I would just handcuff you to the bed, like both hands, and then just take your wallet and then go shopping and be like, I'll see you in 3 hours. Yeah.
Well, at least one of us would be happy. So I guess, we have to do that then. Oh, good. There is something, this is a little bit off topic, but people are asking me something. How are comedians, both those who are established and those who aren't, how are they going to recover after this? I mean, this is literally months of not being able to get in front of, and you know this, right? As an entertainer, there's value to having a crowd. Right? Oh, yeah. Understanding what's working, reading a crowd, all those. This is nice, but if you've watched any of the late night shows as they've done it without an audience, oh my God, it's brutal. It's
wow, really?
terrible. Like
They're on their laugh track.
Yes, they need a laugh track. It's in some cases unwatchable. It's so bad. Like I've stopped watching them. They're terrible.
Talking about? Who specifically are you thinking of right
Daily
now?
Show is horrible. John Oliver is horrible without an audience. They're unwatchable in my view. Now some people are gonna be mad at me for that, but I think they're unwatchable now.
I mean, I've seen John Oliver do stand up. He's a really good stand up comic. So
yeah, but see, doing a stand up, and you know this, right? As a stand up comedian, you're actually still being spontaneous, right? Even though you have your jokes. It's still spontaneous, right? You're reading the crowd. You're going back. You're seeing what's working and what's not. You may shift and adjust. But when it's you in front of a camera and it's scripted, you're just saying stuff. And you have no idea if anyone's laughing, if it's working, if it's dying. You don't know how to fix it. It's bad. So your advice, how does someone now who, say, was doing relatively well, and now all of a sudden I've got 2-3 months where I can't really get any real work. I can't get in front of a crowd. And I don't have 10 million followers already.
Right.
What do I do?
I think this could be a really trying period for comedians, because I think the ones that are gonna come through it okay and come out on top are the ones that are like gonna adapt to this time. Okay, you can't get on stage, but you got to think about, and don't just gripe about, oh, I can't get on stage. Oh, these streaming stand-up shows are so shitty. What am I gonna do? It's like, well, then you need to pivot and adjust. But you have to think, what can you do? You can go live on Instagram. You can go live on any of your different social media platforms. You can just sit and write new jokes. Write jokes about the quarantine. Like, I haven't done it yet, but it's like it's on my to-do list. Like regular writing, because if you've been doing comedy for a few years, you have like a word bank of material that works, and that material that works is not going to stop working just because we're in quarantine for a couple months. So like, okay, log that and just write new stuff, and like put together sketches. Like, I'm making fun of the Tiger King character now, Carol fucking Baskin,
Yes.
Plus, it's really fun for me, and it's like amazing how like kind of quick the day will click by. Like, me and my boyfriend are like writing these sketches and working together, and it's like been like a cool bonding thing for us to work on this stuff together. But yeah, like going.
You brought up a very good point again, right? What you're talking about here is my worry. New York City is the mecca for comics, right? I mean, that's the place. You get there is where you begin to get big. LA's good too. Vegas is good, obviously. But New York's the mecca for comics. But it's the mecca for a whole lot more, not just that, right? My worry is this virus is going to be so devastating, not in its death. It will be, but that's the most critical part for our conversation now. I think the city's not going to recover. And the reason why I say it is, one of the reasons why New York City is as powerful and popular as it is because this is a 16 million metro person area, right? Not just that, 1/3 of New York City residents aren't born in the country. Another 1/3 aren't born in the city, which means 2/3 of its population comes to New York. It is a mecca for talent, for talented people, particularly female talent. Women who want to be good come to New York City, right? That's where they go to show their stuff, to be powerful, and to show how valuable they are. And it works. You see it. It works. With that in mind, my worry is, people are saying what you just said. We don't have to be in the city anymore. We can stay home. Yeah. And if all of a sudden, we used to have it, for those who don't know, there's give or take 4 million people who go in and out of the city every day. Depends on where they go and how they go, right? Between 1 and 4 million on any given day, back and forth. If that begins to go away, think of all the money that goes away that feeds those people in some way, shape, or form. Think of all the jobs and all the businesses that go away that feed those people in some way, shape, or form. Think of all that begins to go away. So then the mecca begins to go away. Then it's right. And then why would you want to pay $19 for a toll to get into the city? You're not going to want to pay it anymore. The city's already. Our governor Cuomo has literally said we're bankrupt. His words today. We're basically bankrupt.
Have you seen his nipple rings? Can we talk about his nipple rings?
Let's discuss nipple rings. Let's do it. I'm in.
There's been, this is a whole, like, I don't know, it's been a real back and forth about the nipple rings. Some people are like firm, they're nipple rings. Some people are like, oh, it's a vest. It's like a bulletproof thing.
I think he's what you talked about. He's got some secret kink.
Yeah.
See, you were right the whole time, Chrissy. You were right the whole
like,
time. He's got
funny.
some secret kink. Yes.
Hey, he's probably real stressed out. He's probably just like, let me just put the nipple rings out there, and then his DMs will blow up, and then, you know, he'll get to have a little quarantine snuggle with whoever's interested.
Now, I'm not sure. Didn't he just get divorced recently?
Exactly. He's back on the prowl.
He was trying to be sexy with the nipple rings, grabbing some new ladies.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's turned on by that.
Or his nipples are just so stressed out that they are mutating, like they're gonna, like, you know, they're all
mutating Cuomo nipples. I didn't think we would go there, but we did. That is amazing. I'm thoroughly impressed. So let's move to the next thing that I've seen you do, and that is you've shifted from just being a stand-up comedian to being more of a personality. Right? You've made that shift, which so many comedians have tried to do and have failed. But you've been able to do that. And I remember I was sitting talking to you. I forgot where I was, but I was watching you, just watching how you were thinking. I was watching your eyes. I was watching your brain work. And I could see how this persona that you sometimes have as the ditz, which is a nice persona, boy, is that not real. That is a persona, and I hope I'm not blowing you up and doing that, but
no,
you are clearly savvier than you sometimes pretend.
Yeah, that's interesting because I have seen it's weird because you never know like how you're coming off, right? Like I'm inside of this thing looking out, you know? Like you can watch yourself on tape and listen to old stand-ups, but you never really know how you're being perceived until people like tell you, you know? It's interesting. Like, so I started doing my show in, I don't know, like last summer. But then I'm also going on a lot of other podcasts too, because it's like you just got to cast a really wide net, and it's been interesting to hear like the feedback. Like the fans are the best, but some of the comments have been so interesting. Like Chrissy is like she's really dumb but also smart, or like she's smart dumb and stuff like that. And like I always think, oh, like I could probably come off like way more eloquent, and then sometimes I said like 27 times during that show, you know. It is interesting though, because you're constantly like you're putting yourself like in a vulnerable spot by like going live and hosting a show and doing anything that isn't scripted, and people are kind of like really seeing the real you, because there's definitely a stage me, there's like a stage Chrissy, there's a show, there's a wet spot compound media Chrissy, and then there's like regular me, and then I guess the goal is you want how you are with your friends to be like how you are when you're on TV, you know, and hope that that's entertaining for people. But it has been really interesting because I don't want to rely on just one channel, right? Like you look at most millionaires have like 7 different streams of income, right? So if I'm a stand-up and all I do is get on stage in front of a live audience, well, guess what? When there's a crazy fucking virus and that goes away, now I have nothing left to do. But it's like, okay, I'm still hosting my show on Compound Media. I have my own podcast that I do called the Chrissie Mayr podcast, that like if I'm on the road, like when I was in LA at the beginning of March, I recorded a few episodes with like comics I was running into in LA. Or if I do road gigs, like, oh, these are little episodes that I can just like snatch up here and there, and just do it wherever, because I have all my own equipment. I have microphones. I have a ring light.
But I want to touch this piece you brought up, because a lot of people get confused by what you just said. You said a lot of wealthy people have multiple streams of income. That's true. However, there's a big however here. They only really do one thing. The other streams of income are investments.
Okay.
They're not actually doing 7 different things. They actually do one thing, and you do one thing. You communicate humorously. That's one thing you do. So please don't say, you know what I should do? Sell cars on the weekends. That's a terrible idea. Right?
Yeah, it's not like I'm not like a nanny, a chef,
correct,
like a foot model, you know. Although I have been a foot model. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you can do all those things, but you should focus on one thing you do. You can invest in other things where those investments bring money in, right? You might say, well, you know what? I can invest in a restaurant. Please don't. But I could invest in a restaurant because I think it'll make money and that leads stream of income, but you're not waiting the tables. right?
Right. It's taking the one thing you do and putting it in as many, like planting it in as many different like backyards, I guess, whatever.
Exactly correct.
You know? So I have like if I have multiple, I don't want to say spreading my seed. I'm trying to look for different.
No. Say that. That's amazing. Say that.
If you're the tree, you want to drop acorns in different yards, right? Like I have a Patreon, I have my Compound Media Show, I have my podcast, I have my stage stand-up. Like before this whole virus hit, I had a huge spring stand-up tour booked. Like, I don't know, 10, 12 different cities. It was like it was going to be the biggest thing I had ever done stand-up wise. And like LA was the first show, and then poof, the whole rest of it was canceled. So it's like pluses and minuses. Like, oh,
right.
whoo, now I don't have to do that tour. But at the same time, it's like, oh shit, I was gonna like put myself out there to all these different cities, and it was like it was gonna be a nice challenge, you know, like, wow, I'm gonna be doing like an hour of stand-up every single weekend for a few months in a row. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, we went all over the place. It's fine. I want to go to someplace else you deal with on a weekly basis, and that is relationships, particularly in New York City. And again, I'll talk about the virus. My God, is this going to make stuff hard? Because not only is it going to be hard to meet people and trust people again, and people are going to be out of the dating scene for who knows how long. You're going to find people who connect now online, and who their entire relationship is online, and then when they meet in person, oh, that's not what I thought you were. That's going to happen, right? But not just that. You're going to have a lot of people who are broke.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of people who are broke.
So many people that are struggling just to sign up for the unemployment. Like the website is totally overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
Friends of mine are having trouble getting on.
Yeah, there are 10 million unemployed now. 10 million who signed up for unemployment today, this week. 10 million, right?
Wow.
That means broke people. Now, you might say, well, who cares if they're broke? It's just money. And I've heard this before many times. Larry, what do you care more about, lives or money? I care about lives. I do. And the issue is, if no one's got any money, as silly as this sounds, how am I going to go on a date?
Honestly, and like I'm not trying to be sexist. It's so much easier to be a broke woman dating than a broke man dating. Like,
it's not sexist. This is a fact of life. If you found this is the truth, and some people get mad at me. This is a fact. If a guy walked into McDonald's and he saw a woman who he thought was hot on the fryer, he would ask her out on the fryer. The reverse would never happen. Reverse is never gonna happen. No hot woman walks and goes, look at that guy on the fryer. Let me ask him out.
Fryer's not gonna ask out a hot customer. I would do that shit. I'd be like, woo, you want French fries?
I'm giving you some extra fries.
You don't think the fryer lady would ask out the customer?
No. I'm saying the customer, the male customer, sees the hot woman on the fryer. He asks her out. He does. The hot woman now walks up, and the hot male, is on the fryer. She just takes her fries and she goes.
I mean, I think it depends on how much that woman loves French fries.
Well, she might just be nice to him to get some extra fries, but is she really going to go out with him?
That's true.
I'm not sure. Yeah. She might wink or something, show a little leg, whatever, to get some extra fries. Probably all she's going to do. Yeah. If she really likes fries.
Happy meal. Yeah.
Get a happy meal. Exactly. She might do that. But I think it's a valid point. But not even the male-female thing. Just going out and engaging with somebody costs money, whatever that might be, right? Even if you don't do the male-female thing. I want to sit in a bar. I want to go get something to eat. I want to go on go to a special place and have a tour someplace. I want to go to some place where that will cost money, right? So that I can engage with someone and build that relationship. But my biggest issue isn't just the dating aspect. It's what happens when you're now more than dating. You're engaged or you're living together. And now one partner can't pay their bills.
I mean, I would think now there's a certain understanding, enough people have gotten fucked over and lost their jobs that there's going to be a mutual understanding for this. And it's happening all over. In some couples, someone's a teacher and has a stable job and is teaching remotely, and the other one is in the service industry and they're helping each other out.
Yeah.
Some couples, both of them work for a corporate company, and then they're solid and they're fine. Some couples are both in the service industry, and it's interesting. It's just about like there's going to be more understanding. I think there's going to be more like walking dates. Honestly, I think people will be like, yeah,
I
like,
hope
money
so.
is hard. Yeah,
I do. I hope that does happen, because that's my word, because tradition is still tradition, right? We still expect certain things in our culture and tradition, and we don't have them. We feel like we got cheated, right? I got cheated. I didn't get that thing that my culture said I'm supposed to get. So now I feel cheated, and now I'm upset. But look, I'm sure you know this. One of the biggest issues that couples have when it comes to getting divorced is financial stresses, right? Because this is what happens. Look, particularly what happens if, you know, one partner, they feel strong and validated by the job they have. They're independent. They make their own money. And all of a sudden, they're not dependent upon the government for unemployment, or they can't get a job, or they think their industry is going to be collapsed. They have to move. They start doubting themselves.
Oh, yeah, especially men. Like, a lot of what like makes a typical man feel good is like, oh, I'm providing for my family. I am the breadwinner, you know, like. So I think a lot of people are dealing with these issues right now. Like, shit, like they're just gutted. You know, they feel like they are can't contribute and are trapped. And it's like I think there'll be again more of an understanding of this. You know, and people. Maybe it'll be, we'll get into more like courtship, you know, like more Skyping, more like, okay, getting to know somebody. And then by the time you actually meet, you know that this is somebody you really like. And I think, like with how scary this virus is, and now everyone's like hunkered down and quarantined with somebody, not to say that hookup culture will go away, but I think people will most people who are single will be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't waste a lot of time fucking around. Like, maybe I do want to find somebody that I could make it through a natural disaster with.
This is a valid point. My wife and I were mad at each other the other day for whatever, I forgot, some reason. We fight sometimes. We're fighting, right? We're upset. And I'm odd in this way.
She wouldn't wear the mascot mask, huh?
She wouldn't put on the fuzzy gloves is the problem, right? So what a bad wife. So anyway, we were having an issue. And what I don't do, I'm odd this way. I don't have a problem fighting in front of my kids. A lot of people say it's a terrible idea. I don't. And I fight in front of my kids because I want my kids to know that fighting is a part. And I don't mean physical fighting, obviously. I mean arguing, right? I argue in front of my children because I want them to know that arguing and disagreements are part of a relationship. And at the end of the argument, my wife and I always make up. We've been together 18 years. In fact, in 5 days, it'll be 18 years. So, yes, we've been together for a long time. And I don't have a problem with them seeing that back and forth. And we were upset for some reason. And she was mad. And then she was saying something like, wow, to my daughter, marry someone like your father. This guy being a jerk right now. And I said, yes, you should marry someone like me. Somebody who will stick by his wife no matter what, even through this. That's what I said. Yes. To your point. Yeah. You want someone who will stick with you through the bad, right? My wife and I were together, we got together right after the first bubble, the first .com bubble. We were together through 9/11. We were together through the last 2009, and we're together through this one. And we haven't broken up yet. But, it's the handcuffs that are going to end this thing, Chrissie. It's all your fault. I'm going to blame you when I get divorced. I am going to blame you really when I get divorced. But yes, that's the issue.
That you set like such a healthy example for your kids, because I grew up, my parents fought a lot. It was always about money.
Yep. All the time.
And when they weren't fighting, they were being seriously passive aggressive towards each other and like undercutting each other and not building. Like my mom wasn't building my dad up in the way that men need to be built up. And my dad was certainly not validating my mom in the way that like the typical woman needs to feel validated and loved. Sure. Like they didn't know each other's love languages. They were constantly cutting each other down. It was like, I just remember like, they would sort of argue and fight. My dad would disappear and my mom and my sister and I would go to the mall or go get an ice or whatever. So like, I sort of grew up like that. That was a team sport. It was like shitting on my dad because we learned it from my mom. And then I'd be with my dad and she'd shit on her. It's like, I never saw them make up. I never saw them resolve conflicts in like a nice and loving way. So like I grew up thinking, oh, conflicts are bad. You have to avoid conflict, and conflict means there's going to be distance, and like, you know, it's just, they were not healthy. They didn't work their problems out in a healthy, self-aware kind of way. So it's really good that you're showing your kids like this is a normal part of the relationship.
Right?
Guess what? We kiss and make up afterwards.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And people get mad at each other, you know. And the funny thing is, you know, there's other things that I try to be very open with my daughters. Right? My daughters will say things to me that they don't want my wife to know. Right? Don't tell mom. Don't tell mom. They'll do that. And I've always told both of my daughters, what's between you and me is between you and me, and that's it. And if my wife asks what you talk about, I don't lie to my wife. I make her angry. I say, I'm not going to tell you what she told me, but I want to know.
Wow.
I know, but I'm not going to tell you. And she gets mad. But I'd rather have my wife be mad at me than not trust me. Because I can get over the mad part. The not trust, that's hard to get over, right? So I'd rather make her angry than have her not trust me and lie to her instead, right? But it's easier to lie and go, oh, nothing, or what. That's easier to lie. But it's a short-term gain for a long-term pain. And I tell my daughters the same thing. And sometimes my daughters don't believe me, right? So literally my daughters will say something, like they did something late at night they shouldn't have done. They tell me, because I always tell them, always call me first. Because, always call me first. Because two things. One, your mom will get mad first and make you feel crappy, then try to fix it. I'll fix it first, then get mad. So call me first, then we'll tell your mom after. And second, I am the only person on the planet who will help you bury the body. So,
what a good dad.
Always call me first. No one else will help you bury the body but me. Just call me up. I'll get the shovel and the lime. We'll be fine. We're all good. I'm coming to get you. But I bring this up because when they do things, sometimes they'll come clean to their mom, right? They'll come clean, and then mom will be surprised, and the kids are like, "You didn't tell her? I didn't tell her. Between me and you." I'm trying.
Wow, that's so good, Larry. Because like then like your kids grow up feeling like their relationship with you matters, because that never happened at all in my family. So like, years ago, like I was in a really toxic relationship. I had a really, like, it was a shitty boyfriend. But I told my sister something that happened, and it was like, I was getting out of the relationship, you know, but I told her something that was like vulnerable that happened between us. It was obviously bad. It was one of those things that happens in a relationship where you go, oh, this is a red flag. Time to get out. This is bad, right? But, you know, she told my mom, and then my mom told her girlfriend, and then her girlfriend told her kid, who was my age, and then that person told their friend. So that at the next family barbecue, this friend of my mom's friend's kid was like, oh wow, glad you got out of that relationship, because and I felt so shitty. I was like,
yes.
Wow, nobody in my family, not that we have to keep secrets, but like I just felt like betrayed. Oh, wow, like nobody gives a shit about me, and my business is everybody's business, and it made me not want to tell anybody anything.
Look, the reality of it is there are two worst feelings anyone can feel: regret and betrayal. Two worst of everything you can feel: regret and betrayal. And betrayal is the worst because you have no control. At least regret was your fault, right? Betrayal, someone who was supposed to be with
I'm
you.
Full of regret.
Yeah, exactly. That's normal, right? But if betrayal is even worse. And there's one other thing I tell my kids, which is very odd, and I'll give you two examples that are odd things I do with my daughters. Wow, I'll give you three. I'm doing parenting tonight. Okay, is it okay? Raising daughters. Yeah. The first thing I do is I told my daughters, I said, if anyone ever touches you or makes you feel awkward in any way, shape, or form, you tell your mother. Not me. You tell your mother. Because
you don't kill them.
No, because even if it's me, I want them to know that anyone is guilty. No one can make them feel awkward. No one, not even me. And I'm their authority figure in the house. And I say me, and people go, Larry, you, anyone, no exception.
Is your feed cutting out?
I don't think so. Is yours?
I'm hearing like a crackling. I don't know if that's
I don't know.
Or you.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't hear it. Maybe let me just make sure my mic is good. I don't hear a crackling. So I literally tell them that. Anybody, including me, because I want them to realize that no matter who it is, there's no exception. And you can say if you have a problem about anybody, anytime. It doesn't matter. I do that constantly. I also get my kids, my daughters, to tell me what they want, even when I know what it is.
Yeah, it's a good practice. It's so good, especially for women, because like by nature we're accommodating and agreeable, and also like culturally that's kind of reinforced. And if you grow up in a family where that's also like, it's it's just so easy. It doesn't take much, but it's just like not a well-worn muscle for most women. So like, yeah, like myself, like I'm like 35 and I have trouble asking for what I want. Like it really takes a lot. Like it's taken a couple of years of therapy to even acknowledge that I had a problem asking for what I want. Even
this
for
is
like
why I do it.
Things, like what do you want for dinner? I'm like, whatever you want. And you're like, okay, well that's when that spreads out into every area of your life, it's not good, because you're gonna, it's just a recipe for building up resentment, and it doesn't need to happen.
Well, what I do is I accept it as no decision. When I do it, my daughters, they go, I don't know. I go, so you don't want to eat? That's what I say. So you don't want to eat? No, I want something. Well, what do you want? Well, I don't know, whatever. So you don't want to eat? And they eventually go, yes. And they then give me what they want. I push them to actually do that. I want my daughters to ask for what they want, right? No matter what, you should ask for what you want. And the last thing I do is I tell my daughters that I love their mother more than them.
Aww.
And I do that on purpose. And people say, Larry, don't you want your daughters to think you love them more? No.
Nobody's saying that.
No.
Yeah.
I want them to think that I love their mother more. Why? They'll believe they can find a man. I don't want them comparing me to their man. How the hell can that man beat me?
Okay.
They can't. Yeah. Another man can't beat me. I'm going to be in their life, and I'm the dad. I've had them for 20 years. That guy's got no shot. I want my daughters to have happy, good relationships with men. If they think I'm the best man in the world, how can they? No. Right. I love your mother more than you. Go find a man who will love you the way I love your mother. Go.
Wow.
It's a whole different way of raising my daughters, because I know how hard it is out there. I know what they're up against out there. It's not easy. You're out there now. You know it's hard. My daughters are still young, and I still do it.
How old are your daughters?
10 and 16.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're young. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've yapped on all kind of good stuff.
Do they have boyfriends yet? My
oldest had her first boyfriend last year.
And he mysteriously disappeared?
He did not. They broke up within a couple of months. I kind of knew it was coming.
You're 16. Yeah.
Yes. Well, they were 15 then. 15 then. Now 16.
Okay.
They were 15 then. It was last year. And they broke up as I thought they would. And
was it hard?
Yes, it was terrible. I will tell you a true story. And I'm going to share something. When it happened, my daughter, of course, as young, was heartbroken. Of course she was. As anyone would be when they lose their first boy. Of course she was. Of course she felt bad. Of course she did. And I said, I got it. You feel bad. It sucks. Now get back up. Get back out there. Don't let him know that it bothered you. Don't let him just go out there. Go. Don't do anything. She's like, but I feel bad. Yeah. I know you feel bad. It sucks. And it's going to keep sucking. And get back out. Go again.
It's like you have to keep moving. Like, don't deny your feelings, but don't let them
stop
you from living your life.
I didn't tell her it didn't hurt. I know it hurts. I've been dumped before. Most people have been dumped at least once in their life, not multiple times. It sucks. I get it. It hurts. And you got to keep going. It sucks, and you got to keep going. And that was my entire point to her was, I got it. It sucks. I know it hurts. You lost a boyfriend. Get up and keep going. And that's the whole point.
Clean your room. Yeah.
There we go. Yes. So is there anything you want to talk about, Chrissie, before we wrap this up?
Ooh, let's see. I wrote down some of the topics that...
Oh, you're writing stuff down. I like that.
Oh, yeah. I take copious notes.
I love that.
Yeah, everyone should watch my show, The Wet Spot, on Compound Media. There's tons of, really great shows on there. My show is not about, politics or current events. It's, the fluffy subjects. But, there's like a lot of news-driven shows, current events. Like In Hot Water is another super funny show. If you liked Opie and Anthony from like back in the day and are an Anthony Cumia fan, like
I've been on it.
Great. Yeah. So yeah, sign up for that. Check out my podcast. It's called the Chrissie Mayr Podcast. It's on YouTube and Spotify, and you know, the audio tracks are everywhere where you find regular podcasts. I'm on TikTok.
I will be on soon, and TikTok is my next one. TikTok's my next one. I'm on all those things too. TikTok is my next one. I got to do that too, of course.
I was intimidated by it because I was like, this is just so different. This seems so different than all the other social media platforms. But like, once you sort of are on it and understand it, you're like, okay, it's basically the new Vine.
Yes.
It's quick. You're just trying to grab somebody's attention in 3 seconds. It doesn't have to be like all that smart or clever. And it's just a nice way to like get another, you know, group of people to know about you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great. So guys, by the way, if you want to help me out, patreon.com/Sharpe. For those of you who are in trouble right now and you aren't financially set, no worries. Please like, comment, and share. This stuff matters tremendously. This stuff matters tremendously. Like, comment, share. The more we can get people going, the better. Social media is the way we're going to survive in these next couple of months. Whether we're comedians or personalities, or whatever we are, it's going to matter. It's how we sit together. Because the biggest thing I want to bring up here, they've talked about social distancing. That is a bad phrase to use. It's not social distancing. It's physical distancing. That's the issue. Physical distancing, not social. Stay social. Call your mom and your grandma. Be good to the people who are in trouble.
Yeah. Are you watching Tiger King, Larry?
I've watched the first 2 episodes. I'm going to watch the rest coming up here. I've actually met the guy once. He was a libertarian governor, and I was in Oklahoma. So, yes.
Yeah, you guys, isn't that crazy?
Yes,
You guys have that in common?
Yes. Absolutely.
He did pretty well. I think he got like 9 or 12% of the vote.
Yeah, I'm actually considering having the guy who won the primary on my show because he knows me even better than I do. So I'm considering having him on my show to talk about it. I'm going to finish watching it probably tonight, and then I'm probably going to see if I can get him to come on.
You have to, Larry.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I'll see if I can.
So good. Yeah, everybody should check out my Carol Baskin impressions on YouTube and all the other social medias. I think I wanted to like get back to your question you asked me about like how has it been like because you're saying like because libertarians are pro sex work generally, right?
Yeah, has that at all hurt you? Because there's still a part of America that says sex work is evil, adult industry people are bad. There's still that part of America that just doesn't like it and thinks it's evil and bad. Has that come back to bite you?
Not necessarily like that part of it. Like, I think I've had like little cat fights within the adult film star kind of like world. There was a woman who did my show. It was like I did a version of it at the Stand Comedy Club, you know, back when we could still go out. And it was like Wet Spot Live at the Stand. And there was a panel of comics and this one girl, Madeline Monroe, who I had on. And I was like, hey, is there anything that you don't want anybody to joke about or talk about on the show? Because, you know, people have their like triggers and limits and stuff. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Let's drink. Let's have fun. And the show went off great. Everybody's making fun of one another. And then as soon as the show was over, she went on Twitter and like slammed me and was like, Chrissie sucks. You know, she basically was like heckling the show from Twitter. Like, she shouldn't be allowed to go to the AVN Awards. You know, she doesn't support sex workers. You know, she made fun of me. Other comics on the show made fun of me. And I was like blown away because we're all making fun of each other. It's a comedy show. She made fun of everybody as well. And I don't know why it happened really. But she was like tagging people. She was like trying to keep me from going to Vegas to go to the AVN Awards to do like interviews. And it ultimately, like nothing ever happened. I still went. It was fine. And I found out that she was like not really a high level, like, you know, adult film star. Or she's really more of like a cam girl. But it was scary for a moment because I'm like,
did you just diss cam girls?
I mean, like, I'm not dissing them.
You just dissed cam girls. I love that. Now I'm getting you in more trouble.
Cam girls are like open micers, you know what I mean? Like anybody can do it casually. It's just like the law, you know what I mean? There's levels. I'm not dissing anybody.
There's a hierarchy in the industry. I get you. It's fine. I'm learning. Thank you.
Yeah. there's a really like a good friend of mine who is, you know, as soon as sort of the quarantine hit, she was like, I'm really struggling to make money. Like, I have a kid. Like, what do I do? And I was like, you should really start camming. And guess what? She started camming and she's making like thousands of dollars. And she's not, you know, she's not like a sex worker per se, but like, it's just such easy money right now. So like, honestly, anybody out there who's needs to pick up a little extra income, like make an OnlyFans account and you can like, it's just so easy. There's so much money.
So you're saying I should start camming?
I mean, we all have bills, Larry.
I am a good-looking man and modest too.
Yeah.
So I guess it might work. Okay, I appreciate that. That's your advice. So we're ending on me starting a cam account. Okay, whatever works. I like that.
Hey.
I like that. So
yeah,
good.
All good.
All right, Chrissie, I want to say thanks for coming on. I think it was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry, for having me.
Yes,
what's going
absolutely.
on? Are you? When's the next time you're running for something?
Oh, look at you. You asked the crazy question. I'm spending the next couple years trying to help others win. That's what I've been doing.
Aww.
That's what I've been trying to do. It's why I'm trying to support people, to get more people into the movement, get more people to want to vote Libertarian, care about the party. That's what I'm spending my time doing more than anything else. Would I run for governor in 2022? I might. I might run again. That I might do. I might run for governor again. But until then, probably not anything, really. I mean, the odds of me running again are very slim, except for maybe that. Did someone just drop something?
Yeah. My boyfriend tripped over his something.
He doesn't want me to run for governor, does he? He actually tripped on me.
A comic and a friend of mine, Stacey Pressman, has talked about running for mayor. Have you heard about that at all?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I love that.
Help her. Yeah.
100%. Is she a libertarian, or do I have to cross endorse a Democrat or Republican?
And I heard that you're actually the reason why she's running.
I love that. Awesome. All right. So, hook her up with me. Yes.
I will.
Perfect. All right, Chrissie. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Larry.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.